Hi everybody, Mrs. Maxwell here, and we are going to be doing a super fun, super simple project incorporating both of the building processes that we've learned so far. So the pinch method and the coil method. We are going to be making coffee cups, and we're going to begin by warming up our clay. So you can warm it up in your hands, or you can warm it up on your table by wedging and kneading it on the table surface. If you don't have a fancy canvas counter like I do, you can use a washcloth or rag or a piece of newspaper for your surface so that it doesn't stick to whatever surface that you're working on. If your clay feels like it's drying out at all, make sure that you take a little bit of water in your fingers and you just work it onto the clay like so. You have your clay all warmed up and in a sphere about the size of a softball, you're going to begin by creating a pinch pot, just like we did at the beginning of the semester. So take your thumb, put it in the middle of that sphere, press it about halfway through, not all the way through, and then start pinching around that sphere to start opening it up like a bowl or a cup. You can also work it on a surface like so. I like to also bend my finger and smear it on the inside so that I can open the bottom of the cup up. And just keep working it around until you're satisfied with the shape and the size of your cup. You're doing a great job, everybody. All right, so I'm building my pinch pot, and as you can see that it's not very even. It's higher up on this side and kind of slants down, and I wanted to show you a trick that you can do so that you can even it out. And I simply flip it around, wiggle it on my surface, and that will ensure an even top to your coffee cup. Sure that you're not rushing to get your pinch pot finished. It takes patience to really build a really nice pinch pot. It's very therapeutic to work with clay in your hands. The Native Americans believe that since we are from the earth and we return to the earth, that we should honor the earth. And this was one way that they honored the earth, was to work with clay. So honor yourself and honor the clay in this moment. Okay, I wanted to show you the inside of my pinch pot and the bottom so you can see that it's not too thick on the bottom. I'm evening out the whole lip of this cup by pinching it with my fingertips. Where it's too thick, I'm just going to simply pinch it until it looks uniform to the rest of the lip of this cup. Some tricks at home that you can use to smooth out the surface of your clay is simply use a spoon to scrape the sides of the bowl so that it smooths out. You don't have to smooth it out. You can leave it bumpy from your fingertips pressing into the clay. It's all up to you how you want to have your coffee cup look. In fact, I will show you some ways that you can embellish it after I show you how to attach a handle. Handle's going to be super simple. We are going to use the coil building method. We're going to take a small chunk of clay, work it into a sphere, and then that oblong shape that I showed you when we did the coil building process, and work that into a coil. Some coffee cups, the handles are round, some are flat. You can make your handle however you would like. I usually make my handle about the thickness of my pointer finger. That way it's stable enough when we attach it to our cup to hold it. All right, next what I'm going to do is flatten it so that I have a flattened handle. You can leave yours round. I'm going to use a kitchen knife, the dull side of it, to smooth over the top part of the coil so that it flattens the top of that. Be really careful not to cut yourself on the edge of that blade. I'm going to use some water to smooth out the edge of that. And then I'm going to flip it over and also flatten the bottom of this coil. I'm just pressing really softly on the clay, not too hard, as I don't want it to stick to the surface that I'm working on. Some more water, smooth out the sides. Now this handle is a lot longer than I need it to be, so I'm going to measure it against my cup and see how long I need the handle to be. All right. Next, what I'm going to do is use that knife to just cut off the extra part of that coil. And now I'm going to attach it. I am going to use a fork because we are going to be scoring the areas that we are going to be attaching the handle to. A lot like we scored the areas that we were attaching the coils upon each other when we were building our coil pods. So you'll see this is where I'm going to be attaching the handle. I'm applying some water just to smooth out some of the cracks that are forming. And now I'm going to score the ends of my coil to attach to the cup. Notice that I scored the side here because I'm going to be curling it so that it's more stable on the top of that handle. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. All right, guys, this is where the slip comes in, that mix of clay and water. I'm going to apply it to where I scored. Now I'm going to attach the handle. Watch how I wiggle it on there. And you'll see how I curled it there so that it attaches really well to that base. Smear it on the inside. And I'm also going to smear it on the top here so that it attaches really well. We don't want that handle to pop off during the drying process. It's super cute. All right, once your handle is attached and you're happy with it, you can leave your coffee cup plain or you can decorate it. Some ways that you can decorate it, you can grab a pencil and carve into it. You can carve your name, you can carve shapes, etc. Or you can embellish it so that it looks like something like an animal, and I'll demonstrate that in just a moment.